Yeah, all right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off with giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to sing give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders, a great millstone for teaching us this word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. Salutations to the elect, Lord willing, where some of those men and women who also believe in fear in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. A honor brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another quick lesson. And it was inspired by this video that you see right here in front of you. I got it off TikTok. It's entitled Daniella Weiss, the godmother of the Israeli settler movement, right? And then I was also watching Elder Yashawamba's video from Remnant Save 144, News and Prophecy. The least of the flock is leading the world towards World War III, right? And so I'll get an excerpt from that. But what I wanted to share in this video is that basically Esau, he's not telling the world what he's telling the world, but the world's not listening and do not care to listen, right? Their ultimate goal is to get the blessing back that Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai has established with the children of Israel via our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? That's always on the table, right? And these people, the Edomites, chiefly the Amalekites who rule the land of Israel right now, what they call the state of Israel right now, that's their ultimate goal. That's why they eviscerate in Gaza. That's the reason why they displacing so many people, right? Because they want to try to get that blessing, but how they doing it is with the sword, right? And you can't get the blessing because, first of all, it's not given to you, right? That blessing wasn't for the Edomites. It definitely wasn't for the tribe of Amalek out of the people of Edomite, out of people of Edom. It wasn't for them, right? So they're not waiting on the Lord, right? They didn't get in that land because the Lord delivered them into that land from out of their captivity, right? They used the sword to get the land of Israel, right? And they're using wars and proxy wars around the Middle East to try to establish a permanent foothold on all those lands that are promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? So they taking on our identity, they taking on our heritage, claiming that is theirs. But the key thing that they're missing is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And the Lord's not dealing with them, right? So what are they doing? Again, they have to do it by the sword, right? And that's their ultimate goal. They're not just going to stop at Gaza. They want to conquer portions of Egypt all the way into what you call modern day Iraq, basically trying to take the blessing that was given to us unto themselves, and it's not for them, right? And so, you know, what is this going to cause? It's going to cause the state of Israel, Amalek, to bring America, Babylon the Great, into the Great War, World War III, right? That's exactly what's going to happen, where it's going to be nuclear missiles exchanged from America to these other nations, and from these other nations unto America, right? And primarily the one that's going to get destroyed the most is America, because America is going to be totally destroyed along with the land of Israel, right? But the difference between America, Babylon the Great, and the state of Israel, the land of Israel, is that the land of Israel is going to be rebuilt back up. And that blessing that you've been trying so subtly to obtain, that blessing that you've been trying to deceptively obtain, egregiously obtain, it ain't going to be for you. You're not going to get that because the blessing ain't for you. So before I start this lesson, I always start with a precept. Let me get this precept right here, right? Because the Lord didn't choose Esau. Right? The Lord did not choose Esau. Let me see. Right? Let me see. Right? This is the book of Dawadi Yahweh Shai. This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 3 verse 16. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac also, and unto him also, matter of fact, let me start at 13. I started at 11. This is 2nd Esdras 3 and 11. Nevertheless, one of them thou leftest, namely Noah, with his household, whom came all righteous men, because the Israelites came out of Noah and his son Shem, right? Then you got, and it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply and had gotten them many children and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first, right? This is post the flood. So after the flood, right, when man began to multiply on the earth again, that wickedness continued on, and it was even worse than before the flood. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham, because Abraham came out of the land of the Chaldees, of the Chaldees, right? Ur of the Chaldees, right? Ur of the Chaldees is in what you call modern day Iraq, right? Let's see. I just want to make sure. Right here is a good. Right here, which this is in modern day Iraq, near ancient Babylon, right? So this is where our forefathers came from. This is where we, the Israelites, our nativity, it really started in Jerusalem, but us as a nation started right here, right? After the flood, right? Ur of the Chaldees, right? That's where we came out of, right? Out of our forefather Abraham. Abraham came directly from there, right? It says, thou didst choose thee a man among them. Thou didst choose thee a man among them whose name was Abraham, right? Because the Lord called him out of his family, right? I think it's his forefather. I know his forefathers are Arphaxad, and his dad was Terah, but they were Terah was a idol worshiper, and Abraham grew up in that shit. But the Lord pulled him out of that, right? And it says, him thou lovest, and unto him only thou showedest thy will. It says, and made us an everlasting covenant with him. So this covenant is never ending. It don't matter where we at in time. This covenant is always going to be with the descendants of Abraham, right? And those descendants are the Israelites. And he says, and made us an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. And that seed is the seed of Israel. And unto him thou gavest Isaac. And unto Isaac also thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee and put by Esau. So Jacob became a great multitude, right? And now we live in a time where these Edomites, they're assuming the identity of Jacob today, calling themselves the Jewish people, claiming to hold sway over that land. And they all, like somebody said right here, is everyone sick of hearing about the 2,000 years ago? Because these people claim that they hold sway over that land because they claim that they were there 2,000 years ago as the Lord's people. And they claim that they never had any broken history. They always knew that they were the Jews. That's what they claim, right? But that's a false claim, right? And again, these people, they're not waiting on Yahweh Shem Yahushai the Lord, right? They're doing their own thing, right? They're trying to take this land blessing that was given, and I'm going to get that real quick. The land blessing that was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they're trying to make it a Abraham, Isaac, and Esau thing. And Esau, he's not a part of that, right? So again, they have to use deception, right? That promise of the land of Israel, and not only the land of Israel, but the lands that surround it, right? You look up Abraham's land blessing. Abraham's land blessing is in Genesis 12, 1 through 3. Let me see. Yeah, right here. This is all of this land right here. All of this land right here. This is the land blessing that was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And these Edomites are trying to use force of the sword to gain control of these different lands. And if they can't use the sword, they'll use economics. If they can't use economics, they'll use any instability to obtain this. This promise, right? And They say it's Abraham's inheritance, but it's really Yasha'Allah's inheritance, right? Because it starts with Yahushua, right? Who is a descendant of Abraham. And then it goes to the elect men of Israel, who start with King David and the rest of the 12 apostles and on down. Who are what? Israelites. Who are what? We're direct descendants of Abraham, right? So the Lord didn't give this land to Esau. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to use force to get all of this, right? And really, the land blessing goes far beyond that, because we're going to have control over the earth. But this is what Israel is going to look like. Right now, you got these people fighting over this small slither of land right here. It's still important because Jerusalem is there. This is going to be the center of the earth, right? But our land is going to extend in places right now where there's so-called sovereign nations. Egypt, Sudan, parts of Ethiopia, Eritrea, right? Yemen, Oman, all of Saudi Arabia, right? All of Iraq, right? All of Syria, all of Lebanon, right? Everything from the Euphrates all the way to the Nile is going to be ours, right? Everything from the Red Sea to what they call the Arabian Sea, including the Horn of Africa, all that's going to be ours. This is going to be Israel, Yasha'Allah, right? And this is what these elite, the super elite, they're using all their proxies. And Daniella Weiss, she's a proxy, right? Let me show you who she is. Daniella Weiss, she's just another proxy, right? This Amalekite, this monster, right here, this demon, right? Right? She is not an Israelite. This is the Edomite, right? This is the Edomite, Satan's seed. Daniella Weiss, Israeli Orthodox Zionist founder of Nakala, an Israeli settler organization, and a former mayor of Kadum, an Israeli settlement located in the West Bank. She was the first elected mayor in 1996 and was re-elected a second term in 2001 through 2007. Weiss' organization, Nakala, has been involved in at least one killing. She was sanctioned by Canada in June 2024 for violence against civilians in the West Bank, and by the United Kingdom in May 2025, which that's this month, calling her the godmother of Israeli settlement movement, right? And what are they trying to do? They're trying to use her, other organizations and proxies to establish that land. First of all, the Lord ain't going to use no woman to establish that land. Second of all, right? The Lord said he was going to put his people back in that land. It wasn't going to be.
Do you think it's fair?
It wasn't going to be us by our own power reestablishing that land. And that's what it's really all about. Esau wants the blessing, right? All the lies and robbery, all the death, murder, kill, all of that is to establish that land as a complete Edomite, Zionist, Edomite stronghold for these Edomites, so they can continue on and use it as use it wickedly. That's what they're doing. But they already have the land of Israel right now, and they're already doing that. You got all these heathens over there, so they're fighting with each other, trying to get some type of dominance out of the land, right? Salaki, give me a second, brothers. I'm trying to put some. Just bear with me, brothers. Bear with me, brothers. Y'all just bear with me, brothers. I'm trying to do something real quick. So, again, again, they're trying to use their deception and lies to take over the land, and they claiming historical ownership of a land that wasn't given to them historically, right? So let me play this real quick.
Fair to tell the Palestinians who've been living here for centuries to move somewhere else, while Jewish settlers can come here from Ukraine, Denmark, or the U.S.?
When you speak about Arabs being here for many years, I do not forget the fact that we were forced to leave our homeland 2,000 years ago.
Right. So then they don't even say why. Right. They'll say, oh, it was just the Romans that forced them. Why was the children of Israel forced out of that land? And they're not the children of Israel. Who truly forced the children of Israel, particularly the southern kingdom, out of the land of Israel? Right? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Why did he do it? Because we sin against the Lord. You cannot live in that land and commit wickedness and rebellion against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and think to stay on that land. You cannot commit idolatry and everything that comes with idolatry, including pride. You can't do that in that land. That land is sacred, right? That land is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai's favorite pit. So that's the reason why we were forced out of that land. But they'll never say that, right? So they claim that they were forced out of the land, that she wasn't in the land 2,000 years ago. You Edomites, that was never your land, right? The scripture says right here, Deuteronomy chapter 32 and 8, when the Most High divided the nations their inheritance is different lands. When he separated the sons of Adam, and the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people, according to the number of the children of Israel, right? In the NLT and AMP, it says, when the Most High assigned land, this is beautiful. When the Most High assigned lands to the nations, when he divided up the human race, he established the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of in his heavenly court, which the heavenly court is the Israelites, right? Everybody have their own land, right? Esau, Edom, you have your land, but y'all don't want to go back to that, right? When you look at a biblical map of Israel, right? You look at a biblical map of Israel, you see right here, these nations had their inheritance, right? Let's look at this one right here. Right? These nations had their inheritance. First and foremost, it was split amongst the children of Israel first after we pushed them Canaanites out. And then the heathen, they lived around us. So the Syrians, right? Or Arameans, right? They lived around us. The Ammonites, right? And the Moabites and the Edomites, right? Edom's land is southern to Israel, or really southern to Judah, the land of Judah. And Amalek, look, they surrounded Judah. And this is why they give us such hell today, right? Amalek and Edom. Amalek is a tribe out of Edom. Philistia, which those are the Philistines. And when these nations dwelt around us, they were a constant thorn in our side, right? King David was warring with these people, subjugating these people time after time. And so did other Israelite kings, right? Particularly from the southern kingdom. So these are the lands that the Lord gave you nations. The Lord didn't give you nations his land as an inheritance, as a perpetual inheritance. Absolutely not. Right? Right? Look at a biblical map of Edom. Right? A biblical map of Edom. Right? This is good right here. The kingdom of Edom. It was always south of Judah. And it was right next to Moab and Ammon. Right here, the kingdom of Ammon. The kingdom of Judah. The kingdom of Aram. Which, again, those are Syrians. Right? They said something about the Arab tribes. The Philistines. Right? This is their land. Right? Petra is their inheritance. But it's nothing there. Petra is a wasteland. Right? Petra is a wasteland. This is where y'all belong. Right? In the mountains of Petra, in the holes of the rocks. Because this is what the Lord gave them for an inheritance. He didn't give them fertile, fresh, fertile, beautiful lands, arid land. He didn't do that for them. Right? He gave them the mountains, right? And that's where they were supposed to dwell at. So anywhere they outside of this place right here is a lie, right? So she was never forced out of the land 2,000 years ago, right? These are Eastern Europeans. Like he asked the question, about
Jewish settlers can come here from Ukraine, Denmark,
yeah, and these are all Edomite nations: Ukraine, Denmark,
or the U.S.
And the U.S. is an Edomite nation, even though Jakes is living in. It's only they are allowed to return to that land and resettle that land, right? And then they keep calling themselves Jewish people. Well, wait a minute. What about the rest of the 12 tribes? Right? Why they don't mention that? Right? So it took everything that they doing shows that they're lying, right? And ultimately, again, is they're trying to get the blessing. They're trying to get the blessing, but they're trying to use a pseudo way to get it, right?
You speak about Arabs being here for many years. I do not forget the fact that we were forced to leave our homeland 2,000 years ago. We were forced.
But you weren't evacuated by the Palestinians.
Yeah, the Palestinians.
So why do they have to pay the price?
The Palestinians are an invented nation. They came here from Saudi Arabia.
Well, you're an invented nation, right? That Zionist country is an invented nation, right? It was created as a secular country. It was not created as a country founded on the Torah, as y'all like to call it, and like to hold on to the Torah and the rest of the chapters of the Bible. It wasn't founded on that. It wasn't founded on righteousness, right? Y'all took that land. You lied to the people using the Balfour Declaration, claiming that you wouldn't usurp any of the land of them Arabs over there. And slowly but surely, you kept taking it over, expanding your reach within that land. And then now, you basically turned that country into an apartheid country. You got idolatry going on crazy over there. You got Muslims worshiping Allah. You got Christians worshiping Jesus. You got Orthodox Jews and so-called Jewish people worshiping Satan, using that Talmud. That's what y'all got going on over there. She talks about invented, and they love to play the victim. But they're the victimizers. These are the victimizers. All right? And the super elite know this. Do you think the super elite don't know that they're Edomites? Yes, they do. Right? What was it called? The Illuminated. The master plan of the Illuminated Rothschilds. Because that plan is always to do what? To get the land back, the blessing. Right? That's what it is. Right? But they're trying to use Satan to do it. Right? Anyway. Let me see it. Find this. Right here. Right? It says right here, this Ron Patton speaking to Marion Knox. It says, let me give you some background information on one level. The Rothschilds secretly called themselves the House of David from the tribe of Judah. Now, the Rothschilds, translated from the German to English, means red shield. During the biblical times, the Edomites' fortress was the red rocks of Petra, which we just showed you that. This is their fortress in the ancient time, the red rocks of Petra, right? And they still build this way to this day, right? They can't get it out of their spirit because it's in them to build this way, right? The Nabateans didn't build this. The Arabs, they didn't build this, right? Come on, man. This is built. Look how big this place is. This is built by the Edomites in the ancient world, right? So the Edomite fortress was the red rock of Petra. Esau, the twin brother of Jacob, was described as red and hairy. So this information fits perfectly with what survivors have been telling me, that on a deeper level, the Rothschilds are also claiming to be descendants of Esau, and thus are really from the house or the tribe of Esau. What they are trying to do is to get the birthright back from the house of Jacob. And that's point blank simple. Right? That's point blank simple. What they're trying to do is get the birthright back. It's the reason why they want to enslave you via the chip, because that's part of the blessing that the Israelites are going to have over these nations. We're going to have these nations in captivity, every last one of them. All right? And they're going to do our bidding. Right? But we ain't going to need no chip to do that. We're going to have to use deception to do that. We're going to have spiritual powers, right? And that's, y'all going to know it's a part of our inheritance. You are a part of our inheritance, including the house of Edom.
Egypt, from Lebanon, from Syria, from all over all the Arab countries. The promise was from the Euphrates till the river of Egypt, till the Nile.
Your dream is to establish a Jewish nation stretching from
And that's
Iraq.
another thing. The Lord is not establishing a Jewish nation. It's the nation of Israel. Yashar Allah is being reestablished, starting with the elect of Israel. All 12 tribes. Right? So she's talking about a promise that has nothing to do with her. This is why Yahweh Shai said this to that lady, that demon at the well, that woman at the well. Right? What did he tell her? Hold on. What did he tell her? He said what? Ye worship, ye know not what we worship, but what? For salvation is of the Jews. Right? Because she wasn't an Israelite. Right? This is the book of St. John, chapter 4, verse 22. Ye worship, ye know not what we know, what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Right? Matter of fact, I'll start at 21. Yahweh shall say unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father, because it's not for these nations to worship the Father in that land. Right? They're without the court. Ye worship, ye know not what we know, not what we know, what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews, of the Israelites. And he was speaking to her directly, because he came to the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi first, which was consisted of the house of Judah. And then the rest of the Israelites going to come behind that. All the Israelites that's in a Gentile state, including the northern kingdom. Right? This is not for you. This is not for you, Edomites. This is for the Israelites. And that's what it's all about. But how do you suppose that they're going to get Syria in their grips? Well, they already destroyed Syria. They killed out the leader. They made the leader leave. He's in Russia somewhere, supposedly with his wife, in exile. Right? They already took control of Iraq. They killed the the king of Iraq, Saddam Hussein. And now that place is a fucking shithole. Again, it was already a shithole, but it's even worse off now. Right? Saudi Arabia, well, they're friends with them Arabs down there. Because them Arabs a lot of them are crypto Jews. Right? Then Egypt, that place is done. That ain't nothing but a tourist destination for the world. So, and then Lebanon, they got to fight people there. They got Hamas and the rest of these different subgroups that they created to create instability in these lands. To do what? So that they can have control over it. Right? How do you suppose these small hats going to expand their people? First of all, the Jewish nation, ain't going to be no Jewish nation. Because the Lord ain't dealing with Jewish people, bro.
Dream is to establish a Jewish nation stretching from Iraq through Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, all the way to Egypt?
Yes.
What you're saying will anger a lot of people, saying that Israel should actually take over all these countries in the Middle East.
I think it's not good to lie about our faith.
And they're lying because you don't have no faith. Right? You don't believe in Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Right? These people they have no faith. They don't know what faith is. It wasn't given to them. It's Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High said, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth. This woman she's the wicked. She's an Edomite. She's a demon. That's why it's so easy for her to lie. And she's a psychopath. She don't have no emotions when it comes to other people and how her actions and the actions of her people affect other people. Right? That's not your blessing. Right? You think because you got us in captivity right now that you can just travel the world and create your own blessing. You've been in your blessing. The Lord gave you the sword. He gave you the earth into your hands for a time. And look what you're doing with it. Right? And you want to try to create some type of eternal blessing. First of all, you can't even live that long. You Edomites don't even live that long. Right? So how you going to hold sway on all that land? Right? What do you have to do with the Most High that you declare his statutes, or that you take his covenant in your mouth. Seeing thou hatest instruction and cast my words behind thee. Right. They don't listen to these righteous instructions in the Bible. Right. They try to split it up. They say that they only believe in the Torah, the first 5 books, or what they call the first 5 books. They call it the first 5 books of Moses. And then they go off into the Talmud. Right. It says, for you hate instruction and discipline and cast my words behind you, discarding them. NLT, for you refuse my discipline and treat my words like trash. That's the wicked. Esau refused the discipline of righteousness, and they actually treat the Lord's words like trash. And they think that they're going to use their hand. This man believes he's God. Right? Elder was speaking about that in this lesson right here.
Hypocrisy. So here it is. We can't even go to the highways and the byways and say we're gonna get the kingdom. We can't even prophesy. They're doing it.
Yep.
Gideon represents a righteous warrior fighting against oppression or evil. Gave Joshua command to go and take the heathen nations out. So they're using the Bible again to justify what they're doing.
Yep. And that's what you see right here. She's trying to use the scriptures and that blessing for Abraham and his seed, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as a excuse to turn that land into a wasteland, and then they want to make it some goddamn pleasure palace for Edomites, man. That's what they want to do for the land of Gaza right here. The elder had posted this video right here. Right, they're doing all this killing and murdering, and they got to eat turtles, man. These people are eating turtle meat, bro. They dying of famine. But Esau, what he wants to do with the land of Gaza, right? They want to turn it into an Edomite pleasure palace.
Trump, okay. Remember his AI video of his plan for Gaza? Check this out if you haven't seen it.
They got it's trannies. They want to make it. They want to make it another Tel Aviv, right? Mind you, this in order for them to get this, many people had to perish. I got another video real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up. I was just watching it. It was a live feed of Gaza. Right? It was a live feed. It might be off now, but I was watching it earlier. Right here. They want to turn all of this, right? Because in order for them to get, just like America and any other country that they've taken over, in order for them to have what these luxuries and these palatial lands and buildings, they had to kill people. They had to destroy people. They had to eviscerate civilizations. That's what they do, right? They want to take it from looking like this. This is a live picture, a live feed from Gaza, right? It's a live feed from Gaza happening right now. And they want to take it from looking like this to looking like this. Right here. With trannies dancing in the street, belly dancing in the street, right? With beards on their faces.
Oh, boy. And all of them are. Get Trump, okay? Remember his AI video of his plan for Gaza? Check this out if you haven't seen it.
Wickedness. Yep, you see that shit? This is they want the world to just be in wickedness. Yeah, Elon Musk eating cheese bread. Elon Musk eating cheese bread with trannies belly dancing in the street. And that's the reason why this man, that's why the scripture says, what a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, man. A bastard. A bastard. It said, what a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. This, Zechariah 9 and 6. It says what? It says, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. And Ashdod is a coastal city where today modern day Tel Aviv is located. And I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. And who's that bastard that's dwelling there? Esau, Edom, right? And it says foreigners will occupy the city of Ashdod. Who are those foreigners? Edomites, bro. Fucking Edomites, man. Edomites would have already dwell there, but they don't have complete control of that land, right? So they want, and this is what they want. They want skyscrapers. So it's going to show, it's basically going from the ruins of the death of those people, the destruction of old buildings. It looks like they're coming out of a fucking cave into this homoerotic wicked land, right? That's what they want. I keep trying to pause it on there. It's hardest. This is what they doing all that killing for. So they can try to make it the Beverly Hills of the Middle East, man. Yeah, look at this shit. This is what they want. This is what they want. Transsexuals belly dancing on a beach with a bunch of Edomites running around. And these supposed to be the people of the Lord? Are you crazy? Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. I don't care if you talk about yourself. You call yourself Orthodox. You put a hat on your head. She out of order anyway because she shouldn't be talking. She's a woman. Right? The Lord ain't going to use no woman to take over Israel. To take Israel back. He not even going to use no other nation. He going to do it himself. The Lord's going to send Yahushua to do it himself. Right? Right? He going to do this. Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. He's always going to choose Yasha'Allah, never Edom, and set them in their own land. He's going to set us here. Who is the Lord? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Will have mercy on who? Jacob, and will set and will yet choose Israel. And Salakia. Stay with me, buddy. Oh. Sloppy about that, buddy. Okay, the Lord said he was going to set his people there. Right? He didn't say he was going to use some Orthodox small hats to do that. Because what are they doing? They're doing it in wickedness, and they're using their own might to get this land. But the Lord said he was going to set us there. And the people shall take them and bring them to their places. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Right? Who's oppressing you Edomites? Right? What nation of people is oppressing? These Edomites are doing all the oppression. Right? They started oppressing us, the Israelites. Why this thing is... Right? It says, so that's what they're doing, right?
I think that when people go in a roundabout way and say, right now we have this and we are very happy with this and this is enough. This is not my way of thinking. If I take my telephone now, I can assure you that hundreds of Jewish families will move today, immediately, with the children, to the Gaza area. And they will not ask what are the conditions.
What should the 2.3 million Palestinians do? Where should they go?
To the world. The Palestinians that live in Gaza have no right to stay in Gaza.
When
You
you,
Edomites don't have no right.
as a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, see the pictures coming from Gaza, what goes through your mind?
My mind, my heart, they are filled with one thing, with the suffering of my nation.
You don't feel anything when you see the pictures
I
from Gaza?
don't feel anything. Scream.
Yep, and that's how you got to be towards these Edomites. You can't feel nothing. These people don't. Oppression is nothing to them. Death and blood is nothing to them, right? This is the book of Psalms. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73. Psalm 73. This bitch is a demon, bro. Psalm 73. They are not in 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stare not with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully, man. Right? She said she don't feel nothing for them people that's dying over there. She only care about her so-called nation. Right? But she ain't from the nation of Israel. And she gonna have a wake up, she gonna have a rude awakening when she wake up in captivity, slavery. Right? Because she believed a lie. Right? She believed that she was one of the Lord's people, and she is not. She is not. She don't have no understanding at all. This is the psychopath. This is the wicked, man. She said it's a scream.
Scream. My eyes are full. We will fight.
You don't feel anything when you see the pictures
I
from Gaza?
don't feel anything. Scream. My eyes are full. We will fight as we fight now in Gaza. And those who do not accept Israeli sovereignty in the land of Israel, they will go.
So there will be no sovereign, independent Palestinian state in this land?
Never, never, never will there be ever a Palestinian or any independent state in the land of Israel except the Jewish state.
Ain't gonna be no Jewish state. The Lord ain't dealing with no Jewish state. He's only dealing with the Israelites, man. He is not
the Jewish state.
He's not dealing with no Jewish state. Right? And you Edomites, you're gonna find out real soon that you ain't the people. Right? And then like somebody said, so this is okay, but Hitler was the problem. Right? Hitler was just an excuse for them to get, that was all contrived. World War II, that whole situation was contrived out of the minds of the super elite. Because the super elite are not religious people. They don't care about the Bible. They don't care about the biblical references and sway to that land. They don't care about the biblical knowledge of Yahweh Shai. They don't care about religion. They don't care about that shit. They just want dominance over the world more than what they already have. Right? Right? It says, lady, your mind and heart are filled with nothing but evil. Well, she's an Edomite and hatred. It says an evil woman on the planet. She's an Edomite. This one belongs in prison. No, she belongs in slavery. Right? And wait till when we take the earth, we're gonna take all the earth. And
Lebanon.
And you nations not gonna say nothing. Right? We're gonna take all of this. All of this is gonna be ours. This is gonna be the land of Israel for eternity. All of Saudi Arabia. They always stop right here. No, nigga, go down. Everything is all this is gonna be ours, man. Where are that image at? Right here. It don't stop at just at half of Saudi Arabia. Nah, absolutely not. It's gonna be all ours. The whole earth is gonna be ours. The whole earth is gonna be ours. So that includes. Look, they always stop here. They call this the Greater Israel Project. This is what these Edomites trying to do. Right? They trying to get this right here. Right? and leave this for the Arabs right here, right? This, they don't know. All is coming to Jake. Everything, all from Syria, all to Oman, Yemen, Sudan, Egypt. Look, they only getting part. They don't even have it right. Right? Everything. This is the land promise that was given to our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? So Israel is not just going to be that slither of land. That slither of land right there is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is going to be the capital. The capital of all of this right here. Like every country has a capital. That's going to be Jerusalem. Right? And you nations not going to be allowed in this land right here. Nowhere near these borders unless you working. And then your ass got to be out before the sun go down, man. You got to get out of there. Right? That's how it's going to be. If this ain't your land, this don't belong to you. It's going to be a nice big wall wrapped around all of this, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be beautiful, man. And you nations, y'all can have the rest of y'all inheritance when y'all get out of captivity. But that's 1,000 years from the time that Yahweh Shai come back. So I wouldn't even think about it right now because you're going to have work to do. You're going to have to build all this land up. Every last bit of this is going to be built up. That desert, which is Saudi Arabia today, is going to be the most fertile land on the planet Earth. The most fertile, right? The most fertile. Ain't going to be no dry spots in our land. These portions where Egypt is today ain't going to be no desert. Sudan ain't going to be no desert. Ain't going to be no Hamites jumping up and down doing the bangy stomp. None of that. Ain't going to be no Edomites doing none of that. Okay? So, how she expect to get all of this in her lifetime? She gonna die. She's already on her way out. That bitch old as shit. You know what I'm saying? That bitch old as shit. She said she's 46. That bitch 46 years old. Daniella Weiss. This is what 46 look like in Edomite years. And then they still put some type of what you call that shit? They still put some type of Photoshop because she don't look like that. That bitch, this is the face of Satan. Yeah, look at this demon. This is what a 46-year-old Edomite looks like. A 46-year-old Edomite. How old is this bitch? Right? She's born in 1945. This bitch ain't finna live that no longer. She gonna live to see the fall of the state of Israel, and she going into captivity. She gonna be expedited back to the side. She ain't waiting on 3 to 4 generations to come back. That ass going back into slavery. Yeah, this fucking demon. Hold it, this bitch. Hold it, this bitch. Yeah, this bitch is 80 years old. Yeah, she's about to die. Yeah, that bitch, she about to drop dead. She about to check. That bitch about to check. So yeah, man, I just wanted to bring this out, man. You know, that's the ultimate goal is that Esau wants the birthright, and they'll do anything to try to get it. So I would say shalom on to the next, man. Shalom.